Two Crypto Saving Expert, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. Today, we are joined by that Martini guy, and he's going to share some analysis with us. So I will share his screen now.
Yes. So again, starting out today's live stream by looking at the price of Bitcoin. Currently, the price of Bitcoin is $22,913. And last night we had a nice break to the upside. And I'm very pleased right now because I think we're going to get that bullish close to the week. This week is actually setting itself up for being great. As I explained in yesterday's analysis, look, if we broke 23,000, I don't know if I can't actually bring up that chart right now, but I'll try and find it for later today's video. But essentially, when we broke $23,000, that was an exciting time because, Jess, I can hear myself in your microphone still. But yeah, there we go. So anyway, when we broke $23,000 last night and we broke to the upside, I said, look, just be careful, respect the pump, but don't kind of be surprised if we drop back to the downside. We drop back to the downside. Why doesn't that come as a surprise? Well, to break out on a Wednesday night was not expected. That was weird. But what that did was clear a lot of the order book. So if you think about TAP's order book, for people that are trading TAP out there, it'll make a lot more sense with this analogy. But essentially, if TAP is to blast through a bunch of prices all in one go, in one very quick short period, it means that then you have no liquidity in this period anymore. And so that means the price can just as likely go down as it can go up, which is why when you break up very quickly, you always generally end up with one big slam back to the downside at some point, and then you continue bouncing upwards. So it's the exact same thing that we've seen on TAP's price recently is what we're seeing on the price of Bitcoin. We've returned back down to this neutral level in the middle here where you see this red line going across the screen. That would be the control line, and that is on the VRVP, which is the volume range volume profile. Currently on the volume profile, it suggests that essentially the Bitcoin price should not really decline below where we're currently at. And actually right now it would make...
We've lost him mid-analysis. He seems to have frozen.
Sideways. Oh, there we go. I'm back now.
Back?
Yeah, I'm back. Again, my computer's being absolutely amazing this morning, isn't it? But yeah, point is, I would expect that we basically bounce around these levels and go back up to around $23,300 there or thereabouts. But I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, just because my computer is not happy. And I'll rejoin this stream in just a second. You continue with the news.
Your camera's frozen a little bit. We'll have a look at the first article of news that, as you can see, we've had technical issues this morning. First of all, we have Binance Coin could push towards $400 on plans to deploy Uniswap version 3 on the BNB chain. So we spoke about this earlier this week. They're looking to deploy on the BNB chain, obviously. Let's take a look at the price now to see how the price has been affected. On the weekly chart, we have come down slightly to $303 over the last couple of days. We did see a nice pump on this news a couple of days ago, though, all the way up to $321. But that's just a little bit of an update on the news that we had last week. Moving on to the next article, we have Injective announces a $150 million ecosystem fund. So Injective Labs announced the launch of its $150 million ecosystem project to advance the adoption of the Injective blockchain, which claims to be lightning fast and designed for financial applications by developers. So when we have an ecosystem fund, it means they're going to push lots of money for developers to develop on the platform and to grow the platform as much as possible. And here's Jordan back on the stream. This is the article we're looking at. Injective announces a $150 million ecosystem fund. What did you say?
It's good, isn't it? It shows you that essentially when you see these ecosystem funds coming back and starting to reinvest into projects, it probably means that, again, bottom is in. People are not investing because they think it's fun. They're investing because they want to make money. Somebody comes up with a $150 million ecosystem fund, it's because they expect that actually the underlying chain of Injective will probably do some significant growing. It's interesting being that Injective started out as just this decentralized derivative exchange platform, and now they're doing stuff like this. I guess it's good for the crypto space.
Yeah. agree. There's a lot of information in this article, but the point is the developers will get funds to build on the blockchain and help it grow. The next article we have is DCG's crypto exchange Luno cuts 35% of staff. So we've seen this happen across a couple of companies that DCG owns, or we've seen them. Obviously, we've seen Genesis file for bankruptcy, and DCG is its parent company. But we are seeing obviously the whole effect on DCG over the last couple of weeks. Hopefully, this calms down a little bit. I mean, Genesis is now looking like they're going to solve their issues with Gemini within this week. They said in yesterday's news we discussed this. So things are being resolved, but obviously DCG are in a bigger trouble than we thought. First of all, I'd say.
Well, I mean, with DCG, they're not in big trouble. It's more that they're basically going through a Chapter 11 right now, and a Chapter 11 is a restructuring of the company. So as that company is restructuring, because basically they owe well above $1 billion to various creditors, when that company goes through restructuring, they've got to cut costs and stuff like Luno. Is Luno making money? No, cost Luno's not making money. It has far too many employees. A spot trading exchange is not going to be making a great profit in this kind of market with volume so low. In fact, let me just quickly Google what actually is Luno 24-hour volume, because then you know exactly, with exchanges, you can work out exactly how much they get paid if you know what volume they're getting. Luno 24-hour volume, there we go. Right, so I'm just gonna let's have a look. Luno trading volume, that's the one. So currently per day, Luno Exchange is having a trading volume of $14.3 million. That would mean that that exchange is making a profit per day of about $14,000. Now, if they've got 900 staff and they're only making $14,000 a day, they're not making money. They're losing a tremendous amount of money because, like, from a business owner's perspective, that would mean that essentially per month that company is bringing in around about, and this is bearing in mind volumes are up recently. Like volumes have not been up for a long, long time. That volume per month, and also you've got market making on the exchange on zero fee accounts, so it won't be all of that as profit. The profit is probably per month about 300k. But their wage bill on 900 people per month is not going to be 300k. That would be insane. I wish I could pay 300k for 900 people per month. So yeah, ultimately, they're not making money. It's pretty clear. These companies, they got far too much investment from these bankers, and these bankers don't understand crypto, so they just grew these companies too big, like they would do in like big pharma or anything like that. But you can't do that in crypto. You can't just throw money and people at it when fundamentally there is a lack of users, and the space needs time to grow and breathe. And that's why we get forced into these bull run situations with lots of hype. They are very profitable as long as you cash out, but at the same time, most people don't. And yeah, that's the way the market goes. But anyway, we're back on track. Bitcoin looks up anyway.
Yeah, so this is already coming from the exposure that DCG had to FTX, and we're seeing the fallout from that. But moving on to the next article, we have Moonbird's creator Kevin Rose lost 40 NFTs in a phishing attack, and they were worth $1 million. That is very, very painful. Rose confirmed the hack in a tweet today, but said the full detail of the incident would be covered in Twitter Spaces tomorrow. I mean, this article would have been published yesterday, I think, so this will be today. A breakdown of the attack by Aaron, the VP of Engineering of Proof Collection, an NFT-centered community founded by Rose, depicted the Moonbird's creator was phished into signing a malicious signature that allowed the attacker to bulk transfer a large number of high-value tokens from his wallet. So he actually signed the transaction. You think by now people know what is a malicious transaction and what isn't, but clearly.
Why? Oh, and by the way, guys, please do drop a like on today's live stream. Currently got 36 likes, so if you could drop a like on it, that'd be appreciated. Let's try and get 100 likes. Probably not going to happen at this point in the stream, but I just remembered that we've not asked anybody to drop a like on the video. So thank you very much if you already did that. I do appreciate it. And also, we've got 2,210 subscribers right now. So if we could get that up to like 2,250, that'd be amazing. So, of course, if you've never seen the channel before and you are completely new, please do drop a like and subscribe. So thank you very much for that. But yeah, I don't understand how at this point anybody is falling for a phishing scam. How is
This is the third time prominent NFT figures have suffered a wallet hack this year. We're only on the 26th of January, so I don't understand how this can go this wrong.
it's just crazy. It could be that actually tax season is coming up and they're hacking themselves in order to not pay taxes or have a loss on the books. Like if you've lost your NFTs, ultimately what I don't understand is look, okay, an NFT gets lost or stolen or whatever. Why is it not then blacklisted from OpenSea? Why is it not then blacklisted from all these other exchanges? If it's stolen, then it should never be able to be sold. It should just be blacklisted forever. So why are they allowing these stolen assets to be sold is what I would say. And that's the point where I go, are these people actually being hacked or are they committing tax fraud? And I stray towards the, okay, if I'm in a situation where I'm a young guy, I've made 10 million in a year, but actually I could quickly lose 200 NFTs that are worth about 10 million and pay zero tax. Yeah, maybe I consider that. And so that's why I stray towards the fact that it's probably tax fraud rather than hacking. How do four people just before tax season begins lose millions of dollars in NFT? I don't get it. You have all of this experience. These people are not stupid. This is, from my perspective, tax fraud. But
This isn't the first time you've come out with a wild idea, and you actually did predict that the CEO of FTX would look at relaunching the platform before it actually got put out into the news on the live stream. And at the time, I thought it was a bit ridiculous, but now I've thought about it a little bit more. It does make sense.
Like for example, why would they go bankrupt? I'm genuine when I say things. I mean, like genuinely, it's probably the case. And in the case of FTX, FTX was a very simple one in the sense of, okay, so they have this platform here. It's got a lot of users, a lot of customers, and the only thing that went wrong here is management. So if you just replace management, there is fundamentally nothing wrong with the infrastructure of FTX. FTX's infrastructure wasn't broken. It was management that was stealing money out of the infrastructure. That was what was broken. So they just need to fix their company procedures or whatever, and they can relaunch it. And FTX will relaunch. I'm very confident about that. And the market's going to get better very quickly. Will Sam go to prison? I think that they're probably going to manage to get it relaunched in around summer this year. And again, I think I'll be right on this. Around summer this year, I think FTX will relaunch. And when FTX relaunches in summer, I would expect a big old bull market to ensue. And then, because again, will people be annoyed at Sam by the time he goes to trial if they've already made their money back? Because Sam's trial starts in October. So you've got basically a rally that's probably going to happen somewhere before that. That'll be a direct consequence of what is going on with FTX. Because don't forget, Sam funneled millions and millions of dollars into random things that nobody knows about. And so he can quite easily probably access those funds and use those funds to make the number go up because he's a smart guy. He's not an idiot when it comes to making money. He knows how to make money. And that's the other reason why they probably won't put him in prison. I just don't think he'll go to prison at this point. I think that they'll probably give him enough time to relaunch FTX, give him enough time to pay back all the customers with some kind of token, and then also partly collateralize their accounts as well. Or maybe FTX as an exchange gets bought out by Arabs. That could be the other option here. Because I know that the Saudi investment fund, the one that's run by the government there, is interested in purchasing a cryptocurrency exchange. And I also know that the Dubai government is also interested in purchasing a cryptocurrency exchange. And that is a big crypto exchange that is for sale. It's got a lot of users and it's ultimately under new management. It doesn't matter what it's called. People go, oh yeah, but the brand name's ruined. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if the brand name is ruined. The infrastructure is there. People will use it. There is fundamentally nothing wrong with that infrastructure. It's the exact same infrastructure as Binance, Bybit, KuCoin, all of this lot. They all run the same thing essentially. It's just they were dipping into the pot where others were not. So yeah, I that's my thoughts on FTX.
And realistically, the new CEO is not gonna. He's got a reputation to keep up. He's not gonna come in and do the exact same thing again. He knows all eyes are on him, so he's gonna try and hold it up as best as possible.
Well, that as well, yeah. Does the second CEO of FTX also want to go to prison? Probably not. Nobody actually wants to go to prison. They actually want to do a good job to these people. So, like, don't just don't bet so hard against people. Everyone is always so keen to bet against people. Well, look at what happened when my old boss bet against me. When my old boss bet against me and he said that I couldn't make money from crypto and that crypto was nothing more than a passing fad and that I should focus on work, he bet against me and I went out and I proved him wrong. And I feel like Sam is very much of the same character because I've spoken to Sam a few times before all of this and before, of course, I knew about it. I've not spoken to him at all since. But I've spoken to him quite a fair bit before. And when I was speaking to him and discussing things with him, that's the kind of guy he is. If you put his back up against a wall, he'll bite and he'll make sure that he actually is somewhat successful. As somebody saying he wouldn't survive prison, I don't think he'll need to survive prison because ultimately Sam, I think, will beat the legal system by reinstating FTX as an exchange. And if he can manage to get all of the users their money back, was there even a theft committed? Is probably the argument that they'll put forward. And that's why I think we'll also see a bull market this year. Because do you know, Jess, why we actually got that rally up to $69,000 after we hit $30,000? Do you know why that happened?
I can't remember. I was in the markets, but I can't remember why.
Right. So the reason that happened, there was no specific reason that was public at the time, but in retrospect, it was because at $30,000, FTX was already very close to bankruptcy. So FTX increased the price of Bitcoin very significantly, trying to re-spark a bull run, and that's why the price went up. It should never have gone up that second time that it went up. But FTX was heavy on the manipulation side, and there is evidence to suggest this. It's not just like my hypothesis that's completely nonsense and made up. No, it's true. FTX basically pushed the prices up in order to stop themselves getting liquidated. DCG was also part of this group of people. Luno was also part of this group of people. Between all of this lot that eventually got wrecked, basically they increased their leverage, pushing the prices higher. And that worked for a short period to prolong the Ponzi scheme. But then the Ponzi scheme collapsed after that, which is why the drop was so ferocious. And I also think that people don't understand, and I've been saying this for a long time. We've been in a bear market ever since Bitcoin first hit $60,000. Not the second time, the first time, because the first crash down to $30,000 was the start of the bear market. It was not. I mean, completely ignore that run up. That run up was a complete anomaly. It lasted.
That was exactly what I was about to ask you. If you thought that was
it was nonsense. It was just a manipulated pump. We've been in a bear market longer than what everyone expects. And so longer than what anybody realizes. And so for this reason, why was I buying the dip so heavily when the prices were down? Because why is everybody not understanding this? That's always been my perspective of, like, we sit day in, day out, we look at prices every single day, and all the time that Bitcoin's price kept on rising up throughout that entire rally, I was convinced that something was weird about it. Like, it was just not natural. There was sudden amounts of buying volume coming out of nowhere when everyone else was bearish, and it just kept on happening and happening, and it didn't make sense. And yeah, a little bit of a breakout to the upside and then a continued crash down, but the fact that Bitcoin's price went higher on the second run up is just something that never happens, because typically if a price is to break a previous all-time high in the way that it did, it should continue rallying to the upside, and it didn't. Why didn't it? Well, because the manipulation was unsustainable. The leverage was too much. There was too much leverage long at that point in time. And of course, at that point in time, you have people that realize that, and they realize, actually, if I push these longs a little bit further down, I can get them all to liquidate and make a bunch of money on that price move. And that's what happened. So, and then the bears forget that they've been in a bear market for the past 18 months, nearly 2 years. And they go, yeah, it'll keep going down. Are you mad? Are you absolutely batty? No, it's not going to keep going down. Don't be greedy. Did you learn nothing from my greed when Bitcoin's price was up at $69,000 and I didn't take profit? Saying that, I did actually sell one Bitcoin at $69,000, so that was a good call. But only one. I have many, but I sold only one because I was greedy. Point is, I've learned from my greed, and I won't repeat that same mistake again. A lot of these bears did not learn from the greed of the bulls, because it's okay. You can be a bit greedy as a bull. You made a lot of money over that period of time. It was fun to be greedy in that period of time. You made a lot. But then after that period of time has ended, you've got to quickly go, like, time to stop being greedy. And that's the bit that I struggled with. But the bears didn't learn anything. Instead, they had an 18-month bull market. The bears had a bull market. They had their bull market. They got greedy at the top, which is the bottom. They kept on shorting. And now we're going to go through that exact same process, whereby the bears keep increasing the size of their short positions. They continually try and push the price of Bitcoin down. And the higher Bitcoin gets, the deeper underwater they get. And eventually they're gone. And that's when you just see us pop to the moon. That's probably not going to happen for a while, though. Like, understand that we probably will have some sideways action. I expect up to 28k and then probably down to like 25, 26, and then just sideways for a while. But I still expect 28k.
The issue with the bears is they've got a time limit before the markets change. With it being a bull, you can just hold on long enough until the markets change again because over time the price increases. But bears have a time limit before their profits disappear.
And Jess, is there a cap on how much money a bear can lose?
No, indefinitely, isn't it?
Exactly. For a bear can lose an infinite amount of money because the price can go up infinitely. Imagine if Bitcoin's price goes to $3 billion. It can happen. It's never say never. The price of Bitcoin can only go as low as 0, so the maximum that you can lose is your account balance. But as a bear, or rather these institutional bears that are allowed to take out credit, we're not talking about people that just trade on Bybit. We're talking about people that trade on like professional exchanges that you have to have licenses and stuff to use. The ones that we don't go near because they're a bunch of nonsense and like the fancy man's exchange. Not interested. Let me use Bybit. It's way better. But at the same time, these people use these exchanges. These exchanges are kind of like private banks where they extend massive lines of credit and so they're all wrecked as well from extending these lines of credit, and now nobody can pay them back. But essentially, imagine how much credit has been taken out to short Bitcoin, and that's all got to get paid back at some point as well. And the only way for that to get paid back is if these people actually make money on their trades, and they're not going to make money on their trades, so they're going to be left with huge debts. It's an interesting time that we are at in the market. By the way, guys, of course, if you are new to the stream, please do slap a like on it and make sure you are subscribed. How many likes do we have right now? I'm just refreshing
I don't
my
know,
screen.
but we've had over 100 viewers for the past like 10 minutes. So
Oh, that's crazy, is that? Thank you. Yeah, so we've got 74 likes right now. So if we get to 100, we're only 25 away. So, of course, if you are new to the channel, please do slap a like and subscribe. We're currently at 2,220 subscribers here on the channel. So, again, make sure you are subscribed. Turn on channel notifications. We go live on this channel every single day. Some days I join, some days I don't. But I'll leave you with my beautiful assistant, Jess. And Jess will always run you through whatever's going on in the world of crypto. It's just I sometimes pop in with my big blabbermouth and start saying things and getting myself in trouble. That's just how it is. Anyway, drop a like. Continue, Jess.
We have one last article for today. We don't have too many today, and it's that Celsius plans to repay creditors by issuing a new token. Interesting. This was also something that we were looking at during the hearing. Celsius attorney Ross, I'm not going to attempt to say that, stated that restructuring Celsius into a publicly traded company that is properly licensed would bring in more value for creditors than selling assets that are hard to liquidate at current market prices. Now, for those that aren't involved in Celsius, this is a positive thing because when they liquidate all of their assets to pay people back, they're dumping huge bags onto the markets and causing a lot of selling pressure. For those that are involved in Celsius and do want some of their assets back, I've never seen this. I've never followed a longer process like this. If they're giving back these assets, surely they're all going to dump, and the people that sell last are going to have less of their funds back than those that sell first. Is there not just going to be a huge amount of selling pressure on this token?
No, because what will happen with this token is basically Celsius will put up the assets as collateral for the. It's pretty clever the way that they'll do it. So if they this is just kind of about issuing a token rather than issuing them their assets back, isn't it? So what they'll end up doing here is they'll issue a token one-to-one with the value of the assets in your account. It'll essentially act like Leo, which was issued to Bitfinex users in 2016-17 after Bitfinex got hacked by Razzle Khan. And Razzle Khan stole $1 billion. If you Google it, if you're not familiar with the news from the past 6 months, there's this girl called Razzle Khan that's like 28 years old, and her and her husband stole $1.1 billion from Bitfinex back in 2016. Anyway, I was 15. It could have been even 14. I can't remember the year. Either way, I remember when it happened, and it was very shocking. And they issued a coin called Leo. I expect the exact same thing will happen with FTX and with Celsius because it is by far the most sensible solution. Both exchanges have got assets as collateral. So what they can do with those assets is they can put them into a liquidity pool. So they put all the assets into a liquidity pool. So say that you owe $10 billion and you have $5 billion of assets. You put $5 billion into a liquidity pool. You issue $10 billion of a stable coin. Maybe $4 billion of that sells onto the market. But still, that means you've still got $1 billion in liquidity. And the point is, as long as you have liquidity, it doesn't matter because not everybody is going to sell. Some people will hold. And also at the same time, understand that people won't get 100% of their coins up front. They will get like maybe 10% a year, and then in the first year, and then maybe 1% a month thereafter. It's a very long, drawn out process, as is with Leo. Leo took like maybe 3 or 4 years to fully play out, but in the end, everybody got their money back from that hack, and they actually recovered the funds in the end as well. So it's like double whammy.
So it's actually a positive thing compared to Mt. Gox, where users still haven't got their funds back. We're actually seeing that.
This is what you want. You do not want to go through some kind of bankruptcy because with a Mt. Gox type scenario, it goes on forever. And so this is a quick solution to giving everybody their money back. It works in the same way that USTC worked. Do you know USTC?
No. When was? Oh, sorry. Yeah, the classic. Yeah.
Or was it just UST? Yeah, USTC now, but previously just UST. So with UST, basically what they do is say there is $20 billion of that stablecoin in existence. They put a $3 billion buy order at 0.99999 and a $3 billion sell order at 1.0001. And by doing that, you lock the price at $1. But there is $20 billion in existence and only $6 billion in liquidity, meaning that if everybody wanted to sell, that's not possible. And so the price will go to zero, and that's what happened. But as a system, it makes sense.
Makes sense until you share the system, because then other people know how to get through the system.
Well, that's why you don't issue all the coins all in one go, because there will also be people that will come in and buy this coin and they will speculate on the value of it rising, meaning that liquidity will also increase. You will see selling pressure, but you will also see buying pressure. And if the exchange is generating cash flow again and generating revenue, then that means that they can divert all of that revenue towards filling up that liquidity pool even further. And this is what Bitfinex did. Bitfinex basically diverted all company profits back into this liquidity pool until all the investors were 100% whole and everybody could sell. And then they issued all the coins. So basically, the strategy relies on a relaunch of Celsius, or if FTX do the same thing, it relies on a relaunch of FTX. It relies on all company profits going into a liquidity pool. And then from there, those company profits are basically distributed to users or holders of this token, meaning that essentially, if you think that FTX or Celsius could do a full recovery, you should buy that coin. Because if you think that will happen, the value of that coin is going to increase as that liquidity pool gets more and more full. It's a system that works. It's a fantastic system. It just takes a long time for this stuff to play out. But it's better. It's a better system than it is going through a bankruptcy like Mt. Gox, whereby you also like. Do you know how much Mt. Gox's lawyers have billed, or rather, the lawyers on the Mt. Gox case have billed to the actual fund?
Yeah, it's a huge amount relative to the amount.
I believe it's about $600 million is what the lawyers have billed over the course of the past like 5 years.
It has been about 11 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a lot of money. And basically, that I believe is approximately like 10 or 15% of the overall value of the fund has now been taken by the lawyers because the lawyers cost such a large amount of money, meaning that the victims are getting compensated less because the lawyers keep stringing it out as long as possible to make sure they get the bag. Because lawyers, and I said my girlfriend is a lawyer, but lawyers can also be scammers. And yeah, it is what it is in a sense of lawyers.
Especially in crypto, because there's not many lawyers that are specialized in cryptocurrency, so they can charge a fortune.
Yeah. That's exactly correct. And they set their own wages. Do you know what it costs for 1 hour of a partner's time in a law firm? Bear in mind, they'll have partners working on this. 1 hour of a partner's time starts at around £1,000 an hour. So say that person is working on that case 8 hours a day. That's £8,000 a day. Times that by a year. plus a bonus. Don't forget what lawyers do like a good old bonus. They get maybe, if you're earning eight grand a day, then that means your yearly bonus is going to be maybe 4 or 5 mil. I mean, for partners at her law firm, you're talking, and this is a good sized London law firm, bonuses are well in excess of $1 million or £1 million, sorry. So lawyers take money. They get money basically. You want to get money. You can either become a software developer or a lawyer, and you will make a big wedge of cash. Two really well-paid industries right there. Anyway, if you are enjoying today's live stream so far, we're at 97 likes. So 3 more likes would take us above 100 likes. So please do drop a like on today's live stream and make sure you are subscribed to the channel with channel notifications turned on. Currently at 2,220 subscribers. So let's try and hit 2,250 before the end of today's live stream. And please subscribe.
We finished today's news articles. There isn't many today. I don't know if you want to go back over your analysis and show those that weren't here at the start of the stream.
Well, if you share my screen first of all, I'm going to run through the top gainers and losers for the day. So here we have the top gainers. Aptos, currently now $18. Then we have eCash, Mina. I think Mina's some kind of project to do with the metaverse and that a lot. ApeCoin, wouldn't bother with this nonsense, not interested in it. Phantom is good. I'm currently, who's Phantom pumping? There's 44 cents there. I'm currently long on Phantom. That could be nice. Then we've got a few others. Axie doing well, indicating that basically if metaverses and gaming altcoins and stuff are going to do well, then Axie will be the first one to go, and then other stuff will pop afterwards. So like stuff like Copy should do pretty well in the preceding weeks. Holochain hot. That's always a good shout, actually, is Holochain. I like a bit of Holochain myself. In fact, let's have a look at where the current price is sitting for Holochain, because I'm interested when it comes to. So this is on the daily, but overall, yeah, you see that looks pretty decent, does that? My dad actually made a lot of money on Holochain in the previous bull run, so I'm gonna pay some attention to this. I can't believe that got above. No, I can't actually. Yeah, this is nice and good looking, and low market cap as well compared to where it has been in the past. It's been a multi-billion-dollar market cap as Holochain in the past, so that was pretty decent. And what else have we got here? I mean, we've gone off the trending bit. Gainers. What else have we got? Filecoin, Neo, Helium, Waves, Internet Computer. I know that BitBoy likes Internet Computer. EOS. I've been holding on to that for the past 10 years or whatever now, not since 2016. It's never done anything. Top losers for the day. This Neutrino thing always seems to be at the top of our top losers section. I think it's some stable coin, but I looked at the price of it the other day. It really seems to have been struggling with like holding its peg. So it like lost its peg at $1. It used to be pegged here at $1, and it just keeps on dropping to the downside. So I think this is the failure or another failure in some algorithmic stablecoin. But it seems like it failed last year. This is July last year, August, September, and then suddenly like we jumped from August through to January. So maybe it's relaunched recently. I don't know. But yeah, Neutrinos always seems to be at the top of our charts. I don't know what's going on there. What are the losers? We've got Binary X, Quant, KuCoin, The Graph, Gemini Dollar. Basically, not a lot is losing. You can always tell when not a lot is losing when you've got a US dollar stable coins are 11th and 12th in the top losers section, basically meaning that only 10 things out of the top 100 actually lost value recently, which is quite amazing. But yeah, coming back to my analysis for the day. Bitcoin is bouncing right now. I'm going to be posting a video on my channel. I'm sure that Jess will be posting a video on Interpret Crypto as well. So if you aren't already subscribed to Interpret Crypto, type in Interpret Crypto, and you can go and subscribe to Jess. She makes amazing content about the price of Bitcoin. She is often very correct. And she did a maths. You did a maths. What was it? Maths degree. That was it. That's the word that I'm looking for. You did a maths degree, so she's also smart. I didn't do a maths degree. I dropped out of school, but she went to university and she's smarter than me. Apart from I'm a better trader and overall a better human being in terms of the average quality of the human. But yeah, no, Jesse's not bad as well. So currently, anyway, when it comes to the current price of Bitcoin, Bitcoin hit the level of support here. It's bouncing back to the upside. We'll probably today range a little bit between these ranges here, but I'm going to conduct some deeper analysis on my channel in just a few moments' time. So please do go over there and subscribe. And again, we're expecting another break to the upside. It's probably going to come within the next kind of before Friday, or rather, to be honest, it's not going to come probably before Friday. It'll happen on Friday. So if you think that each one of these candles is 1 hour, it's perfectly reasonable that we just kind of float around in this range here. We break down this volume candle and then we break up to the upside. It just, to me, I still don't favor the downside. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to be favoring the downside, I still think. And a lot of people go, oh, look, this was a bull trap. It broke to the upside. It was a bull trap. No, it wasn't a bull trap. This was a warning shot. And that's why I was excited. Because, again, breaking up on a Wednesday night at 11 o'clock at night makes no sense. There is no logical catalyst at a Wednesday night at 11 o'clock. That is somebody firing a warning shot. This is ultimately probably some whale that's piling in. They just bought like $400 million of the stuff off the open market. That's probably what happened there. That looks to me like a bank has re-entered Bitcoin rather than anything else. Because there was no logical reason that it should have done that yesterday. It was ultimately a massive pump up and then dump. So it pumped up 6.5% in 8 hours and then proceeded to dump approximately bottom to top. There we go, 3.71% over 13 hours, but pretty much it was instantly anyway. It just made no sense. So what I think happened here was basically the price broke out. The bears noticed that the order book on the buy side was weak because it was one individual that was purchasing. It was not like a bunch of individuals. It was just like one or two groups of people that were purchasing a lot of Bitcoin. And then they noticed that actually the buy side on the order book was pretty weak. And so the bears managed to slam the order book back down. If you think that the bears don't want the price to go up, so if they notice a weak order book, and it'll stop them getting liquidated for like 10 billion, if they just short an additional extra 5 million, they'll drop 5 million into the order book, slam it back down, make people think it's gone bearish again. Hence why the price like jumped up pretty significantly again afterwards by about 3 or 4%. As soon as it had that drop to the downside, it jumped up another 3 or 4%. But essentially, that's kind of what you're looking at with something like this, is that, we close. This is a warning shot. It's not over. It's gonna run, and my fear is it runs this weekend. And I don't know about you, Jess. I'm interested for your opinion on this. Do you think it'll run this weekend? Because I really hope it doesn't, because that means we get a big old CME gap that opens up. And can you imagine if we open up? You're on mute, by the way, but can you imagine if we opened up a gap between like 28,000 and 23,000? That would be so annoying.
Yeah, well, we were talking yesterday, if you pull the chart out, about the gap in the market where there's been not much movement because we dived down into it and then shot back up through it. It's like between 25 and 28. If we get up to the $25,000 level, there's not really any resistance till $28,000, and that would close the CME gap at the top. But the target for this bull flag that we're seeing at the moment is $25,000. So I'm feeling pretty positive as long as we hold the level of support right now.
This level right here is so vulnerable. Like where you see this big gap in volume, nobody's going to sell in that range. And that means basically, if I draw on the chart the range of where it sits, it's between here and here. And my fear is that we do this on a weekend, because if we break these levels on a weekend, it means that we'll probably fill them throughout the course of the next week, which would be really annoying. And that's why I don't want to break out on the weekend, but I feel like it's probably the most likely scenario. So yeah, I just don't want that to happen, really. That would be annoying, but it probably is going to happen. Yeah, that's probably where we should leave it at for today anyway. If you have enjoyed today's live stream, please do slap a like on it. I would really appreciate that, and so would Jess. We've currently got 102 likes, which is fantastic, and 100 people watching live. So again, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. We're trying to hit 2,250 subscribers on today's live stream. So if you are new, please do drop a like and subscribe, and also send our live streams when we do go live to a friend of yours. I request that so we can grow the channel. We're really trying to grow Crypto Saving Expert right now, and it's really nice to see that you all engage with the content and like what we're doing here. It is great. So yeah, essentially,
I have another piece of news to share in today's video that I've just remembered that I read yesterday. Let me share my screen here. First of all, we've seen this morning that Tesla, Elon Musk has said that Tesla will be the biggest company in the world by, I've not got the deadline up on here. Let me find that in a second. The news I wanted to share was Tron might become a legal tender in Dominica. Isn't that
That's
bizarre?
No, and the reason it's not bizarre is because Justin's son is some kind of like Barmayan government official, and I don't understand why, but I think what happened with Justin's son is he started getting a lot of kind of regulatory scrutiny, and so he went to the Bahamas and gave them a lot of money, and they made him like president of the Bahamas or something, and now he can never go to jail. And so I think that this will happen. Is it bullish for Tron? It means nobody's ever going to use Tron as currency. Is it good for the industry? Yes. Does it? Is it? But also no, because you see TUSD on the screen there. TUSD is another algorithmic stablecoin based on Tron. So it's a Ponzi scheme. So to have a Ponzi scheme as a national currency of the Dominica is going to be a short-lived thing at the end of the day. Do I like Tron and do I like Justin Sun? I have a lot of respect for what he's achieved, and I think that Tron in itself is a fun system. Tron ultimately, Justin Sun is also very good friends with Binance, meaning that TUSD will probably be around for a long time. My problem with TUSD is it's an algorithmic stablecoin and it'll fail. But interesting. That's hang on that document there. It says that it's going to be all of those things. So USDD and TUSD, they're all going to be part of the
I think
common.
so, yeah.
That's crazy if they're going to make an algorithmic stablecoin into legal tender. That is like some proper degenerate government activity going on there.
We
I wish
literally
I
saw
was,
UST collapse in May.
yeah, just you'd think that they'd learn, but no, nobody ever learns. So yeah, at some point, the government of Dominica is going bankrupt. We know that as well. Just, maybe not
um,
just.
Crypto Rovers just joined the chat as well. Um, the news I was about to say about Tesla is they did not sell any of their Bitcoin in Q4 and reported $33 million in impairment charges to its Bitcoin holdings. That was the news
That's,
about Tesla.
well, very interesting news about Tesla, Jess. Nice to see you in the chat, Rover. I appreciate the little rocket that you've sent. Um, yeah, essentially, that's probably been today's news show, to be honest. If you did enjoy it, please do slap a like on it. Thank you all very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Got 110 likes. Trying to hit 2,250 subscribers, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Recommend our videos to your friends, your neighbors, your cats, your dogs. And of course, send our live streams around WhatsApp groups. That seems to work really well, does that? So if you post it in just like random WhatsApp groups, I'd really appreciate that. Just trying to grow the community, grow the channel, grow everything about Crypto Saving Expert, because very soon the website is going live. And unfortunately, I can't direct you to the mailing list anymore because our silly, as I said, look, you didn't have long to get on the. You can still get on the mailing list. It's just you've got to go to the website, and now the website looks a little bit different. So don't go on the website, please. Just wait till Monday, and we'll see. So yeah, that's kind of everything that we're going on with Crypto Saving Expert. Jess, you got any final regards?
No, I've been staying away from that. Everyone's been asking me questions, and I'm not ruining anything. It's Jordan's job to discuss that.
Well, unfortunately, our silly developers, well, not silly developers, our amazing developers, have put the website, they've turned it on. But that's because currently we're paying for what is known as a stress test. So basically, we're paying for people to hack us. We need to make sure, and this is why I said don't use it yet. Please just wait. Because we need to make sure that the website is fully. You can bug test it by all means, but don't. And if you are going to bug test it, I have pinned a comment in my Telegram group that you can send bugs to, so you can go and like bug report and stuff like that. So, I do find that stuff useful. But essentially, the website is currently being stress tested, which means it's not running at 100% capacity because basically they're DDoSing it, they're doing all sorts of stuff to it, they're penetrating testing it, they're trying to hack our databases to find if there is a way through into our databases to see if our customer information is safe or not. And then from there, that's why I say don't sign up, because we need to make sure that all of our customer data is safe before we can officially say, look, the website is live. Although it is turned on, it's not officially turned on. So don't go on it. So yeah, on also just bear with us. It's been like 18 months of just bear with us. just wait like 4 more days. That's all I ask. 4 more days, and then you can go on it. So yeah, it's been fun though. I'm excited for the launch. It's going to be a fun one, and there'll be an email that comes through very soon about. Basically, I know what I'm going to do now for the launch in terms of the giveaway. It's a lot of money from my side. Like, it's a lot of money, and what else is there's a lot of money. We're doing another thing. Oh, that's it. We're going to do something else in terms of like merchandise and make sure that we can basically reach as many people as possible with some kind of giveaway type thing. So yeah, I'm about a milli deep into this so far, so please use it. I would appreciate that, and also do subscribe to the channel. And that sounds good for me. I need a haircut as well. Might go for a haircut today.
I think that signals the end of the stream.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for everyone that's tuned in.
I'm just getting like old man hair now with it starting to like really grow out. It's because I've been working so much, and so have you, Jess. Your hair's grown very long. But essentially, when you work a lot, you forget to cut your hair, and it's just an unimportant thing. But now it's getting pretty long on top, so it needs to go. Yeah, let's end the stream.
Right, we'll be back tomorrow with more cryptocurrency news and taking a look at the market. So don't forget to turn on your bell notifications so that you get notified when we do come live again. We do these every single day. So we will see you tomorrow.
Right,
Goodbye.
drop a like and subscribe. Bye bye, everybody.